Happy weekend, crystal lovers. I hope you're all having a wonderful weekend out there. Today, Andreas and I, we have our day off, so we are just going to go on a little bit of a trip to the Geological Museum here in Copenhagen. And I haven't been there for a while because of lockdown and restrictions and everything, but everything has lifted now, so we're good to go. The Geological Museum here in Copenhagen it's an oldie for sure. It's part of the university setup. So it's not like a fancy art museum. It's really raw and very beautiful, and it's very centered around the science of crystals. And I really, really love that, because I love crystals equally for the beauty and the metaphysical properties, but also the science. And this is a great museum to go and check out. I would say for me it's mostly about finding inspiration, especially with crystals that are local to me. So that would be crystals from Sweden or Norway or Iceland, of course, and perhaps even Greenland. So that's always really interesting for me to see what are the particular crystals in that area, because you won't really see that at a crystal show. There you would mostly see things that are a little bit more, easy to sell, and that are, of course, less expensive. So more of the focus of a product, an easily distributed product. You get to enjoy all of these crystals from different places all over the world, and I really love that. But first we're gonna hit up a bookshop, because there's a new bookshop. I'm actually not 100% sure that it's new, but it's new to me, and it's called New Max, and they have this byline that says the coolest books on the planet or something like that. And I'm curious to see if that is actually true. I looked up what they have online, and they actually do have a lot of the books that I already own, so that's a good sign for me at least. So we're gonna hit that first because it's right by the museum. Oh wow, it's really snowing outside today, so yeah, we'll see how that goes. So we're gonna check out that bookshop first and then go to the Geological Museum, and hopefully I'm gonna show you a lot of crystals that you wouldn't see otherwise. That was it for the intro. Let's go. Here we are at New Max, and I have to say my first impression was really good. Not only did it have an incredibly well curated selection of books, the store was also beautifully decorated, and it was obvious that they had made so many really good design choices. What I look for in a coffee table book is not only the images, but all the design choices like printing, binding, and typography. But they did have a beautiful selection of coffee table books about interior design. This book named Black Sun was particularly well made, beautifully illustrating the flocking behavior of starling birds, and I really enjoy books like these ones that focus in on a specific subject and just really go for it. Actually, I'm not that much into decor books or fashion books, even though I really love fashion and decor, but I enjoy more when an author really dives into a specific subject. Also a beautiful selection of magazines, really interesting looking magazines where you can see there's a lot of detail in the design of these magazines. After that, we went on a little stroll in the botanical garden. You know, it's winter here in Denmark, so we really have to soak up all the sun that we can get. And even though it's winter, it is really pretty. And I've always loved the melancholy of winter here in Denmark. And here we are at the Geological Museum. Like I said, it is very old, but I can really appreciate the style. It wasn't necessarily designed to be flashy, it was more designed to facilitate the university. But they made some interesting design choices. And I love these display boxes. You could say that they are a little bit more modest than you would see in another type of museum. But again, that's because the focus is on the minerals here. So the way that they arrange the minerals in this museum is that they group them in terms of the various minerals, but also by location. So for example, they have a huge selection of minerals from the Nordic countries and particularly from Greenland. And you don't come across crystals from Greenland so often because, again, it is not commercialized the same way as you would see in other countries or other parts of the world. But of course, they have crystals from all over the world here because they want to display all the beautiful specimens of various types of crystals. And what they have here is not only the pretty crystals, they also have like this big piece of iron from Western Greenland. And something that I really, really enjoyed is seeing these natural formations of silver from Norway. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I adore these silver pieces, and I even found one here that has a bunch of record keepers. So here we have some different ones from the Faroe Islands, from Iceland. This is a calcite from Iceland. If there was ever a place that felt sacred for me, it was definitely Iceland, and I can't wait to go to Iceland again in the future because it is such an interesting country in terms of the minerals, the nature. Big beautiful cluster here from Norway and Germany. And this scolecite was so interesting because it's from Iceland, and scolecite you normally would find in India. I guess it's because there's more of an industry in crystal mining, so you don't come across these Icelandic scolecites that often. And in the photos you might see some of these wooden figurines that they put up next to the crystals. And the reason that they have them there is to display the crystalline structure of the various crystals. And I think that's such a clever way of showing the student what it looks like on a molecular level and how it mirrors that in the actual crystal. And lastly here, an apophyllite. And again, this is one of those crystals that you most often see coming out of India, but this one is from Iceland. We are back from our trip downtown Copenhagen, and I'm just gonna catch the last sun rays right now because the sun is going down fast. You know, up here in Denmark right now, you don't get a lot of hours. So anyways, we had such a great trip, and I want to start out by telling you about the bookstore because I'm obviously not sponsored, but I really, really did enjoy the bookshop. So go check out New Mags. They have a really good web shop, but if you're in the Copenhagen area, go visit them. We had the best service, to be honest, and good service is a rare thing in Copenhagen and in Denmark in general. We are apparently not very service-minded here, but he really knew his stuff. He really knew all about the books. I had a whole list of books that I was considering purchasing, but they were all sold out. So we ended up buying one book, and it was actually a really, really cool Danish book. I think it's called Sort Sol. And after that, we actually took a little bit of a stroll in the botanical garden. It's a really, really nice park, but it's actually more of, yeah, it's part of the whole university museum campus area. So there are all these different specimens of plants and trees, and yeah, it was just nice to be out. But it's actually a really good park, and I definitely recommend you guys going there if you're in the neighborhood. Or maybe I'll take you on a trip in spring because it's beautiful. But then we went to the Geological Museum, and like I said in the beginning, it's a really old museum, and I can appreciate that. It's really methodical how it's all placed, and it's all about the geology. It's not a show-off kind of museum. It's all about showing the particular specimens, because that's what the university students, they use to reference different minerals. They found specimens where you kind of see the different minerals in their most authentic form. And then what I really loved is that they had these little wooden, what do you call them, like wooden sculptures next to them that really beautifully displayed the crystalline structure, so how the atoms and molecules form inside of a crystal, or what it is that gives the crystal the appearance that it has. And that's so interesting to me, and one of the things of why I really, really love the raw crystals, because that is where you actually get to see the crystalline structure. You really get to see the incredible intelligence of nature when you see the crystalline structure and how the atoms have formed over millions and millions of years in this perfect way. So what I wanted to emphasize in this video was, of course, the more local crystals, so the ones from Greenland and the Faroe Islands and Sweden, Norway, those types of crystals, because they don't get a lot of attention. Mostly when you see crystals at crystal shops, it's from Brazil or China, India, but there are beautiful crystals all over the world, so I definitely wanted to promote some of them. They're not like commercially mined in the same way as many other crystals, but for me that makes them just more unique and beautiful and interesting. Okay, so I'm losing light by the minute here, I feel like, so I'm gonna finish it up now. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video and would like more of these weekend videos like this one, where I'm not necessarily talking about a specific crystal, but just more the lifestyle that we have here in Copenhagen and the lifestyle around crystals, yeah, let me know. Just comment, share, ring the bell, do the like, everything ding dong, and make sure to share and subscribe. It lets me know if you want me to make more of these videos, and it also helps others to find this video if that is what they're looking for. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend with lots and lots of love to you and yours.